I have a question about AZRAQ. How that influenced you about, in sustainable fashion or in sustainability in total? How was your experience about that?
So, AZRAQ and sustainable fashion are one is part of the other, for example. So, AZRAQ is the Marine Conservation Society that I'm a board member of, and we focus on the marine ecosystem throughout the UAE. So, we look at everything from the coral life to mangroves, which helps sequester carbon and are also native to our area, which is really important because you can't put in a new plant life that doesn't have the ability to survive our temperatures, both
Exactly.
in the water and out. So mangroves are sustainable and they do thrive in certain areas in the UAE, like in Al Quwain and Abu Dhabi. So we see a lot of benefit by planting those. Coral life, again, Dubai is too hot as a coastline. It's actually the hottest coastline in the whole Gulf. But just around the corner, Sharjah and Fujairah and Al Quwain, you start to see more and more cold spots that actually allow coral reproduction. So we've had a lot of success with coral nurseries that we support in these areas. And we also look at, not just what's under the water, but what we're putting into the water. So things like sustainable fashion is one of our pillars that comes under microplastics and plastic debris. Plastic pollution. Not many people realize that obviously the fashion industry is one of the biggest polluters in the world for not just carbon footprint, the chemical dyes that they use, but also the microplastics that come off non-sustainable clothing material like
polyester and
synthetics, exactly, acrylic, nylon, polyester, rayon, all of the ones that are not made, using plants. So cotton, linen, and flax, hemp, bamboo. These are all much more sustainably minded because they'll biodegrade naturally. So every time you wash something that's a synthetic fiber through the grey water in the washing machine, it's likely to deposit microplastics in the ocean without you even trying. So we're facing much bigger problems with much smaller pieces of plastic nowadays.
No, I totally agree. When I was also reading and searching, doing my research online when I started this, and it was, it's, even though when they, it's totally waste, and it's bad for your body, even when you wear the clothes and all that. So it doesn't make sense to me to make clothes with plastic, because it's totally harm for anyone or even the planet. So, but I believe a lot of governments, as we know, they're taking actions and try to take it down or make it slow. So I believe that's a thing, that's a movement that we all.
It is, and it's easy to say don't make clothes with plastic. Plastic has great purpose. Exactly. Plastic makes things stretchy, waterproof. It makes it more durable. So if you look at things like raincoats or Wellington boots, things that are for hiking, things that are for in the snow, you're not going to find many natural fibers there because they're just not going to be insulative enough. Exactly. A lot of natural fibers are bio-friendly, which is fantastic, meaning that they don't smell when you sweat, like linens and cottons. They help absorb our natural odor as well. But synthetic fibers are also going to repel water, and they're going to allow movement in ways that just cotton and linen won't.
Exactly. That's right. I totally agree with that. Also, your collaboration with Mary. What's the full form of that?
So during COVID, obviously, we were all stuck indoors, and there were a lot of people who I would say turned a bit more creative, or turned their hand towards creativity, because we were looking at things to do within our own homes. One of the areas for me that was sort of an unfulfilled idea was I did a fashion design degree at university. With a pathway in fashion promotion and enterprise. Having done the degree, I realized that it was so carbon heavy and I had no desire to sort of create my own line. But an opportunity came up that was quite interesting with a friend of mine who has her own sustainable slow fashion brand that's based in the UAE. And me having championed, obviously, local designers and things previously, she said, look, why don't we do something together? I know about fashion design, and you know the steps it takes. You also know how we can reduce the steps and make it less carbon heavy. And you know, we created something that both of us decided would be items that A, we would wear, and B, they would be seasonless. So all natural fibers, predominantly linens,
Wow.
organic linens.
Okay.
But it meant that they would, you know, be able to be bought not just for one season.
Wow. No.
Mommy, I'm here.
Yeah. So I would say that if we put some thoughts into it, even though I'm not totally against plastic, because being honest, I don't think we could, but plastic has a big life impact on our lives now, and it's very hard to get rid of it. But the thing is, if we can recycle it properly as much as we can and use for the thing that it should be need, so I think that would be a great balance to do that. And even though, starting a clothing line and making new clothes, as we all know, there's enough clothes made for the next 6 generations, so we don't need any more clothes. Even though I started the clothing line, and my point of view, or what I tell people is, I said, everything that you need is already in your wardrobe. Whenever you need something to wear, just open your drawer, open your wardrobe, everything is in there. But if you need to buy something more, just go for the sustainable brands or ethical brand that, supporting the planet and supporting the people. We all have equal rights. So, it's a big topic about the ethical fashion too, so the production and all that. So yeah, exactly. So I agree.